why not live a life of awesomeness? If you have 100 years on this planet, you might as well live the kind of life where you can help others. Hey, what's going on, friends? Bedros Keuilian here, and today I want to talk to you about the 5 books that you've got to read in 2020 if you want to level up in life and business and leadership. Let's start. Y'all ready for this? So, listen, I started reading books about 10 years ago, and I'm 45. So up until about 35, I wasn't reading too many books. And unfortunately, I was behind the curve, which means I was reading like 3 or 4 books a month once I realized how valuable they are. Because think about this, a book that's well written and packed with great content, you're getting someone's 20 years of life experience, of leadership experience, of diet experience, fitness, business, mindset experience, like in what's it take, 2 weeks to read? So you're getting 20 years of lifestyle or life experience in 2 weeks if you read a book. And so the way I look at it is I'm buying a ton of knowledge at wholesale. So book number 1 to read in the year 2020 is this, Jason Redman's book, Overcome. Now, Jason Redman is a Navy SEAL. He's a retired Navy SEAL, and he's got a crazy-ass story. In 2007, he was on a mission, and while on his mission in Iraq with a group of SEALs, they were on a killer capture mission. He ended up getting ambushed. And so little did they know that there were some dudes waiting for them, and those dudes were waiting to ambush him. And so he literally got shot up 8 times across his body and his arm, and of course his face. Now he's had over 40 surgeries to reconstruct his face and his arm, and he is a badass. Now he wrote this book, Overcome. His first book is a New York Times bestseller, and it's called The Trident. And that book is about leadership. Overcome is how you can overcome any adversity or obstacle in your life. And it really is something that he thought of once he was going through like that 5 and 6 years of recovery from having his face and body shot up, right? Because when you think about it, he had to overcome an ambush. And he came up with this whole knowledge that even regular people like you and me, whether we're in business or just in life in general, he says the average human experiences 5 to 7 life ambushes and throughout their lifetime. And so if you're experiencing 5 to 7 life ambushes, well, what do? That ambush could show up literally as a divorce. It could show up as a disease, a cancer diagnosis. It could show up as a car accident. It could show up as a failure in business, right? It could show up as an economic disaster. Now, what you do when you're sitting on that X of ambush determines how things roll out for you, what the outcome is. And so in this book, Overcome, he shares the 5 principles of really what he calls the 5 principles of the Pentagon of peak performance, of how you can use these 5 principles to overcome any life ambush that you come in contact with. And if you're guaranteed that you're going to have 5 to 7 anyway, you might as well be well prepared. And by the way, the stories that he tells in here and the way he shares these lessons are so powerful. Highly recommend it, and it comes with glowing reviews from world-class generals to Jean-Paul DeJourno, the guy who created Patron tequila, and also Paul Mitchell. If you guys know who Ed Milet is, my friend Ed Milet gives us high endorsements as well. I give it amazing endorsements. Steve Weatherford, NFL Super Bowl champion. You name it, like this thing is getting the reviews, and rightfully so, because this book is just on fire right now. So Overcome by Jason Redman, former Navy SEAL, retired Navy SEAL. Get it and read it. The next book I want you to read in the year 2020 is this, by Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil. Now, a lot of people think Think and Grow Rich is the book to read by Napoleon Hill, and it's certainly a great book to read. What you don't know is he wrote this book a few years after Think and Grow Rich, but for 60 years, his estate did not put it out because it was so controversial. It was long after his death and long after the death of his kids that this book was finally put out by the Napoleon Hill estate. And Outwitting the Devil is really the secret to freedom and success. And the reason it's titled that, Outwitting the Devil, is because he believes the devil lives within us. In other words, the thoughts that occupy our minds are really the devil. Like, we can lead ourselves into scary situations by overthinking by being scarcity minded, by worrying so much, through addictions like drugs and alcohol and food addictions, smoking, right? And so Napoleon Hill very quickly figured out that if you want to have a great life, you've got to always negotiate with the devil and the angel that's in your head. And the angel, of course, says, hey, look, be abundant-minded, go out there and dominate and serve others, and don't let any vice control you. Where the devil says, hey, you're going to use gambling and infidelity and drugs and alcohol and food to take control of you. Even television is a vice, right? Binge watching television. How often have you binge watched television instead of doing what you know you ought to do so you can grow your business or improve your lifestyle or go to the gym and get in better health or maybe eat cleaner, right? So when you really think about it, the devil lives up here. It's not like a place that you're going to go to when you die. Hell, if you did something bad, that might be the case as well. But the devil really is up here. And if you want to outwit the devil, the reason I love this book is he literally talks to the devil. He's got the devil in the courtroom and he's got him on the stand, and he was able to persuade the devil. Napoleon Hill was able to persuade the devil to put his hand on the Bible and swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth on how he instills fear and scarcity into humans to force us into anxiety, overwhelm, and underperforming in our lives. And so to really get the full experience on this, I highly recommend the audiobook version of Outwitting the Devil, because you can hear Napoleon Hill kind of cross-examining the devil, and then you hear the devil himself in this deep, bellowing voice of just the scariness of who he is. And so if you really want to get the full experience, listen to the audiobook of Outwitting the Devil. Highly recommend it, because you are going to get the full experience of hearing the devil's voice and Napoleon Hill's voice, and how he cross-examines the devil and how he forces the devil to give us the truth, and how he controls us with vices and with our thoughts and force us to underperform in life, and how you can break free from that so that you can have freedom and success. Outwitting the Devil. Great one for 2020. This one here is an awesome book that I really love, because it's written by an immigrant just like me. He's just like me. He's an immigrant to the United States, and he's the immigrant edge and the American dream. And when he came to the United States, he decided that he's going to learn kinesiology and fitness. And one day out of the blue, he decided he's going to write Michael Jordan of the Chicago Bulls a letter that says, hey, look, I know that basketball players are not encouraged to lift weights and work out with resistance, but I believe that if you work out with weights and resistance, you will be stronger, faster, and more injury-proof. And I want to prove it to you in 30 days. So if you're willing to let me train you for 30 days, I can prove to you that you'll be faster, more accurate and stronger, and injury-proof. And of course, that was very controversial. So Tim Grover decides that he's just going to reach out, not to just like someone influential in the community, but to Michael Jordan. He later becomes the trainer for Charles Barkley, Dwayne Wade, Kobe Bryant. And this guy wrote this book, Relentless, and it's such a great book. And the book is literally, I mean, I'm reading the reviews on the back. Michael Jordan gave it glowing reviews. Pat Riley, Dwayne Wade, Charles Barkley, so many great people gave it glowing reviews, because in teaching these guys how to use fitness and resistance and weight training and getting better, he really taught them how to have this relentless mindset. This mindset of what he calls the cleaner. And in the book, he identifies the cooler, the closer, and the cleaner. The cooler is someone who's good. He's going to be on the basketball team or whatever sports team or whatever business. The cooler is someone who is good at what he does. The closer is someone who is great at what he does. And the cleaner, who's relentless, well, that person is exceptional at what he does. And that person is who you go to when you want that shot in that final second of the buzzer. And so not only does he explain the difference between coolers, closers, and cleaners, but he teaches you how to adopt the cleaner mindset and become relentless in everything that you do. And he doesn't talk about it from theory. He talks about it from hands-on practice, working with the best athletes in the world. Since then, he's worked with tremendous athletes from every different sport. And today, he coaches and he consults some of the best entrepreneurs and world leaders. Tim Grover does. And you ought to read Relentless if you want to make 2020 count. Now, this one, well, you might know who this guy is. Craig Ballantyne, one of my dear friends. And Craig Ballantyne is an amazing author because he wrote his first book, The Perfect Day Formula, a few years ago, and it became a bestseller. This is The Perfect Week Formula. And really, Craig Ballantyne is the master of discipline and structure. And one of his sayings that I really love is that structure equals freedom. And it's so true. The more structured that my days are, the more routine that I have, the more predictable my morning routine, the more disciplined that I am, the more I get done. I make more money, I spend more time with my family, I can focus on my health and fitness more, and I can hang out with my friends and the people that mean a lot to me. So no matter how busy you are, you could use more structure, discipline, and of course, routine in your life. And The Perfect Week Formula is going to help you get that. Fantastic book written on literally facts that he has gotten from thousands of entrepreneurs that he has coached and that I have helped him coach because we are also business partners in a mastermind called the Empire Mastermind. And so I'm not just promoting this book because he's my dear friend. I'm promoting this book because The Perfect Day Formula and then now The Perfect Week Formula have helped me personally so much. And if you want to blow up 2020 in your life, then you're going to want to read this book as well. The Perfect Week Formula by Craig Ballantyne. Now, last but not least, I wouldn't be doing you a service if I didn't tell you about this book, Man Up. It has become a Wall Street Journal bestseller in just 12 short months. And it is the book on how to man up and cut the bullshit and kick ass in business and in life. Listen, I've talked to you about this before, but if you're new and you don't know who I am, I'm the founder and CEO of Fit Body Bootcamp, one of the nation's fastest growing fitness franchises. We have locations worldwide. I run this thing called The Project, which is a 75-hour self-development program for men, software company, supplement company. I do it all, and I'm very fortunate to be an immigrant who's come to the United States and become very, very successful. And now I get to pay it forward. And when I wrote Man Up, it was really a book, a how-to manual, if you will, on how to be an effective leader. So in this book, I talk about the 6 pillars of effective leadership that high performers have. And because I was not a high performer, I was struggling, I was suffering in silence, I was about to lose my business, and this was about 10 years ago. And after spending 4 years trying to figure out how to become an effective leader, I finally was able to turn the corner in my business, and since then have doubled again, and again, year after year in all of my businesses, which further proves that leadership is the problem, leadership is the solution. So if you're an entrepreneur, or if you're living life and you just think that other people are the problem, the economy is the problem, marketing is the problem, your spouse is the problem, your kids are the problem, your boss is the problem, I'm here to tell you that you just might be the problem. And once I accepted that personally, I realized very quickly that I just need to follow the 6 pillars of peak performers and top achievers, which is really leadership, right? Leadership from the top down. And what I mean by that, the top starts with me. If I'm not self-disciplined, and that's the first pillar, if I'm not self-disciplined and self-developed, then I'm not going to become an effective leader that people want to follow into business or battle or in life. And the 6th and final pillar, of course, is developing a high-performing team, right? You don't want a team of just mediocre, average people around you. You want a team of what I call fighter jets around you, because humanity is divided into 2 groups of people, crop dusters and fighter jets. Crop dusters will hit the snooze button. They drink a little too much on the weekends. They sleep a little too little. They don't work out. They work out like kind of half-ass. You know what I mean? And it might be you. And if it is, take no offense by it. I'm just letting you know that you're a crop duster. You're living in mediocrity, and you've accepted average as normal just because everyone else around you is average. But the fact is, fighter jets live a different life. They have more impact. They have more significance, they have greater meaning, they make more money because they are fiercely disciplined. And they have a high-performing team, and that is pillar number 1 and 6. And the 4 pillars in between is what you're going to learn about and exactly how to apply it into your life so that you can be a fighter jet, wake up when you're supposed to, have this amazing balance in your life where you're business is dialed in, your lifestyle is dialed in, your relationships are dialed in, your health is dialed in, your money is dialed in. Because why not, man? Why not live a life of awesomeness? If you have 100 years on this planet, you might as well live the kind of life that people are going to want to be jealous of, right? And where you can help others. That's it. And so again, Man Up is a great book, Wall Street Journal bestseller. Highly recommend you get it if you want to make 2020 an amazing year for yourself. And guys and gals, if you like the books that I recommended here, and if you have any that you have read and you think would be an important read for 2020, just leave it in the comments somewhere on this near this video. And of course, it'll help everybody watching. Here's wishing you an amazing 2020 and a fucking awesome decade. See ya.